the desert of the real.
Welcome to the Desert of the Real. I am your host, Ryan Hudson, and joined with me is your stormtrooper turned resistance fighter,
Jason Deeds.
You like that one?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. The Desert of the Real is a movie podcast where I force Jason to watch big blockbuster movies he's refused to watch because he didn't think they were worth his time. We're watching Star Wars. He's watching the sequel trilogy for the first time. Long have I waited for this day.
Okay. This is the first day in a long time where I feel like we are on opposite sides of a canyon. Except me.
Sometimes we just agree about movies.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have vague disagreements. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't like it as much as you like type of thing.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we are
Yeah.
on complete opposite sides.
Yep. I
Because-
don't even know if you could call this a sequel. It's more like a rehash. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, our listeners
go
know
ahead.
that
Yeah.
you have weird and strange opinions. Okay, buckle up,
Get
listener.
down.
That's what we're getting
Yeah.
at. We are two English language arts high school teachers with graduate degrees, and we attempt to use our academic training to dig deeply into movies. We explore the creativity, the philosophy, the ethics, and film studies of our films, and we push you, the listener, to think deeply about your films. We're glad you're here.
We are.
Whether you love Star Wars or hate Star Wars, it just means a lot that you are here to listen to us talk about Star Wars. Thank you for coming and giving us a like, a follow.
Sorry you had to watch this movie in preparation for this.
And thank you for leaving a review. And please think about doing that if you haven't done it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Before we even get to anything, there's just some background we have to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, so before I say anything, I need to just say the sequels are a mixed bag. I will say I like the sequels, but that does come with a heavy asterisk because it's not all like one complete thing. And you'll see that in the next two movies.
Okay.
And we'll talk about how audiences reacted to both of those two movies and things and like kind of the background that you don't know. But even though I will say I love this movie, it's not like, oh, he just blindly loves all the sequels. Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, we'll see. We'll get into
You
it.
love this one.
I love this one.
Gotta be blind.
Okay, so we have to rewind back to the year 2012. Those are memory sounds.
The world has ended because the Mayan calendar is now over.
Right. I was in college, my first semester of college.
Well,
And my roommates were aware that I loved Star Wars. And that's when they made this huge announcement. Disney buys Star Wars. $4 billion. I remember a roommate saying, "You must be excited. More Star Wars." And I was like, this is awful. This is not good.
good.
This is bad. Bad news. Like, we don't need any more. It should be noted, just for a fun footnote, George Lucas donated all $4 billion to charity.
Oh, wow.
Which is really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, he doesn't need money, but all $4 billion went to charity.
What charity?
I if I remember correctly, it's like educational systems in California, something like that.
Very nice.
I don't know the specifics.
Good job, George.
But yeah, it wasn't until a few years later that anything happened. But there was just general excitement about what does this mean. Like, well-known directors were being asked to direct this movie. So even before anything, it's like, hey, like even Steven Spielberg and directors would say, not interested, not interested, not interested, not interested. And at the time...
They get all the way down to... Well, J.J. Abrams got to feel good about himself then.
Well,
number 12, yes!
Well, it's not... I mean... It's Star Wars. It comes with a big history. It's
right.
It's not everyone wants to take on being in charge of Star Wars. Everyone is talking about what could or should happen, basically. Eventually, J.J. Abrams becomes the guy. And which is interesting because J.J. Abrams, he was he rebooted the Star Trek movies. So it was like, oh, now the Star Trek Star Wars guy. But JJ has said, like, he was never like a Trekkie. He wasn't a Star Trek fan. So it was a challenge for him to be like, oh, let me look in and see what I can do with this. He has a history of, like, kind of pulling franchises out of the grave. Like, Mission Impossible was dead after Mission Impossible 2. Because it's...
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. But then he's like, yeah, but this is what a sequel could be. And I like Mission Impossible 3. And the rest, he rolled his eyes, everyone.
I did not. I just smiled and nodded knowingly.
And that series has been strong ever since. It has.
Now I rolled my eyes.
Okay, yeah. But like he like revitalized that. Star Trek hadn't been a thing in a while, and he breathed new life in it. Anyway, so he's doing Star Wars now, which he's been a fan of his entire life. So it's like It's a different type of challenge now.
So this is a love note.
Yeah. So it's important to note just like where Star Wars was at this time. And we've watched all the movies at this point. So the original trilogy ended, and in the 90s got re-released, and then, of course, the prequels happened. I think today people forget how much hatred there was for prequels. Like, there was a documentary about why George Lucas ruined
burn in hell
their childhood, you know? Like, essentially, people, it's downplayed now because the kids who were being born in the early 2000s grew up with the prequels and, like, the cartoon show and stuff. Like, no, prequels are good. And I have to admit, like, we talked about them.
Yeah.
I like the prequels, like, warts and all type of thing. Like, I wish they were better.
Yeah.
But they are what they are, and there's something kind of beautiful about that.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of disdain for them. So part of the reason this movie is the way it is, actually a large part of this movie, is because of, I don't know, a decade of prequel bashing, basically. And so for better or worse, this movie's trying to be like, we're taking it back to Star Wars, like practical effects.
Certainly does that.
We are filming on film. You know, we are bringing the things you like. Get rid of those Senate, those Senate discussions. There's no politic talks here.
Did that? They did that in spades.
You know, so it's on one hand blatantly like anti-prequel, even though there are a couple prequel nods in this movie. They mentioned a clone army, and then in Maz's castle there's pod racing flags and stuff. Yeah. So it's not like trying to erase them, and it's, for better or worse, it's all Star Wars, baby.
Yes, it is.
Okay. This is still, to this day, the most expensive movie of all time. But it's also still, to this day, the highest domestic grossing movie.
Yeah.
Like the United States. Even more than Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
And it's in the top 10 highest grossing of all time. It's I think it's 6 or something. Anyway, so it's super successful. Like, the atmosphere of this movie. Like, in 2015, it was just, you could feel Star Wars. Everyone was excited for this thing. The anticipation was real. Like, the teaser trailer. That came out in 2014. I was on my mission. We were shoveling the sidewalks of the church, and a member was like, do you want to watch the teaser trailer? Because I knew about it existed, because I had a friend who like sent me screenshots from the trailer. And I remember where I was, in Vermont, of all places, shoveling on someone's phone, watching that, like, I don't know, 30-second thing.
The teaser.
And, like, every cereal box had Star Wars stuff on it. And so much of it was in the dark. In fact, we didn't know Rey was the main character until the movie came out. We knew she was a main character. It's more like Finn was geared to be the Jedi. He's on the poster with the lightsaber and stuff. So there was so much we didn't know, basically. And Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, nowhere in promotion. No one knew anything until the opening scroll, Luke is missing or whatever. Anyway, cool. Star Wars right now is just nothing like it was in 2015. It was just a fantastic time to be a Star Wars fan. Whether you like this movie or not, it was exciting, basically.
Cool.
Like this movie, part of the reason it was so successful is people would see it and then go back the next day to see it. Like it was, it's one of the fastest to reach 1 billion in history.
It is the fastest.
It is.
I looked it up.
It's because people were just going again and again.
Can I ask what the age demographic was of those people?
That's a good question because
Do you know?
I mean I don't, but part of the challenge of The Force Awakens is it needs to be a continuation of the Star Wars we all know and love, but it also needs.
Really.
All right, stop that.
It's a rehash.
Okay, but it also needs to be a starting point for a whole new other like generation of kids, basically. Anyway, so
okay, so so what this felt like to me
okay,
is a sales pitch to an audience that probably didn't watch the originals or weren't enamored with the originals or something like that. Like they're trying to grab the next generation of Star Wars people, which is why I asked what the age was. I would be willing to bet that it was late teens, mid to mid 20s, late 20s. Those were the people who were going back and back and back. I don't know.
maybe but they needed to make it where the fans of the original trilogy would be happy, basically.
I don't see how that would have happened.
But you know what? Despite what you think,
That's fair.
it was
massively
a
successful.
massive hit and widely loved, like almost universally loved. Like right away, I mean, I'm sure you're gonna get this. I was gonna make a bingo, but I kind of forgot about that. About things you're gonna say. Like almost immediately, people are like, it's just like A New Hope plot wise.
Pretty much.
And that was pointed out. But then, like, the next year, because these were coming out each December, the next year, Rogue One came out. And it was still like, yeah, Star Wars. This is the new reality, and everyone is happy. It wasn't until the following year where people would be like, wait a second. And would, like, literally turn on The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were... We've talked about this a lot with the pathos and the logos. This is very pathos, very emotive, very if you didn't think about what you were seeing, it would be very easy to get caught up in it because visually this is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It really
visually.
is.
So if that's what you're focusing on, and the characters are well developed. Like female Luke, I don't remember what is her name.
Rey.
I'm just gonna call her female
Rey.
Female Luke is a well-developed character.
Mm-hmm.
Finn, less so, I think, but he's still interesting. He's still engaging. And then Mini Darth. What's Mini Darth Vader's name?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Or Ben.
I'm gonna call him Mini Darth.
That's fine.
Okay, Mini Darth is kind of interesting. Like, we get more of Mini Darth than we do of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Once he's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
We've got Mini Darth. We've got female Luke.
Yeah.
And then, Han Solo. So it's like they're engaging. So on the surface, I can see how this would have captured, especially the Star Wars fan base.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine it captured a lot of other people as well, because it's slick, it looks good, the characters are engaging. So I get it.
Yeah.
But if they finally turned a couple of years later, I think that's because they started realizing all of the logical holes in the movie, realizing that basically he had just copied and pasted most of the original 3 trilogy, various important parts of it, into the script. So as far as the script goes, I feel like this is a very lazy script. It's just, there's nothing new at all in this movie. There's no advancement of the plot other than...
Of Star Wars?
Yeah, other than, where's Luke? Oh, right? There he is, 10 seconds away in a hyper jump.
Okay.
There he is. You
all
the rest of it is almost literally just a refilming of the original 3. I asked you to come up with 3 important things that happened in this movie that didn't happen in the original trilogy. You didn't do it. You couldn't
it's because I was busy.
No, you didn't. I don't think you can do it.
I was watching the movie.
I don't think you can do it.
3 things that happened that weren't in the movie?
3 important things that happened in this movie that didn't also happen in the original trilogy. You can think about that for a while, because I don't think you can do it.
I think I can.
Okay, do it. Right now.
Right now?
Go.
Like Kylo Ren, the bad guy, he literally
That's like Mini Darth.
Mini Darth. He says, okay, I'm being tempted, or I'm being seduced by the light side.
Right, just like Darth Vader was seduced by the dark side.
No, yeah, it's the exact opposite.
Oh,
come on.
Okay.
No, we've never seen that before.
It's the same thing.
It's the same idea, yeah.
Yes.
But it's redone.
It's reversed. It's flipped, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Nothing new under the sun in Force Awakens. The only important thing I could come up with was that Mini Darth kills his dad.
Okay, yeah.
Where Luke Skywalker does not.
Right.
That's literally the only thing I could come up with that was important that happened in this movie that didn't happen in previous Star Wars movies.
Yeah. Okay, that's another good one.
That's the only one, as far as I can
All right,
tell.
How about Rey rejecting the lightsaber, running away from, the thing that we know and love, this lightsaber?
What, is that important?
No, that's just the complete opposite of Luke Skywalker.
Who ran towards being a Jedi?
Yeah. The call to adventure. I mean, there's kind of a refusal.
Right.
There's a refusal in both. Because
Right.
it's the hero's journey. But it's,
Right.
purposefully the hero's journey. It's purposefully mirroring the
Star Wars.
new... Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, that was on purpose. Well, then he nailed it.
Yeah, I think he
to
does.
the wall if his purpose was to mirror the original trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still nothing new happens here.
But once again, I mean, not that this...
We have a cantina scene.
There is,
just
yeah.
like the originals.
Yeah.
Like she's an orphan, just like the original.
Yeah.
It's in a desert.
They're just like
literally everything that happens in here is just like the original.
Okay, all right.
Everything. It was so annoying. I can't believe that this is one of the highest grossing movies of all time because it's a rehash.
Okay, but once again, I think that this needs to exist in the same series, in the same world, in the same reality of Star Wars. Because we have A New Hope, this is built on top of that pattern purposefully to get us into the movie. To get us into...
We already have A New Hope.
I know, but that was 30 years...
That's what I was thinking. That's what I said originally.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago. The only function I can see of this movie is to use what worked phenomenally in the original trilogy as a hook for the next generation, to hook them, because we already know that it works, and so he just kind of picked the best parts out of the original trilogies, put them all together in a movie because that works.
Yeah, so I will... Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
But I'm also glad... You're pinpointing it's not just New Hope. It's really parts of Empire, parts of Return of the Jedi, too.
That's lazy.
I mean, I disagree because Rey, the character...
That's female Luke, right?
Yeah. Okay. She loves Star Wars. The character loves Star Wars. That's important,
She loves... Yeah, the Jedi, Luke.
She loves
the
myth. She is us, basically. She's the fan of the movie. She's
She's the fangirl. She's like, oh, you're the...
Yes.
Right.
And now she's thrust into the story herself, basically. She's
I got it.
Rehashing
everything.
I would say this.
I'm glad that we agree.
I wouldn't say...
I thought this was going to be a battle.
This is what I'll say. It's a remix, not a remake.
What's the difference? We're going to play semantic games. You have to define your terms.
It shakes things up. It takes everything.
It shakes nothing.
All right, stop it. Okay, it takes.
the same
I know.
freaking
Just let
thing.
me talk. It takes literally the story that we know, but once again, also the story anyone knows.
Right.
It has that meta layer on top of it. This movie knows Star Wars exists,
Yeah.
and the characters know the legends. They know the movies that came before it.
The events from those movies, yeah.
Yeah,
I did really appreciate there was a sense of distance from the originals in what female Luke, when she was like, there's this sense of like mythology rather than a history that she's talking about. So that was good. I mean,
Yeah. I think there's a lot, like the movie had to do those two jobs, like I said earlier.
Right.
Had to serve the older fans, had to introduce the new fans. The movie also wanted to have new characters too. Like kind of like the prequels. Here's basically new people.
So we got Finn and we got whatever the pilot guy's name is.
Yeah, Poe Dameron and Rey.
Yeah, those two characters are new. All of the others are just rehashes.
And
right?
Kylo Ren.
He's mini Darth.
Yeah.
But he's just a rehash of Darth Vader.
Okay, alright.
Or, if we must, he's a mirror of Darth Vader. But
Here's the genius of Kylo Ren. How do you make a better villain than Darth Vader?
you don't.
You don't. You don't even attempt to.
Right.
So what you do is your character emulates Darth Vader. He worships the ground Darth Vader walked on.
Sure.
He's like, I want to be Darth Vader. But he doesn't need the mask. He doesn't have like he's literally trying to turn himself inwardly Darth Vader. Like he's hiding him from his identity.
Right.
Like that's the best part when Han Solo's like, take off the mask, you don't need it. He doesn't. He just trying to be the villain we all know and love.
Right.
And
So basically what you're saying is all of the main characters in this movie are just fanboys.
kind
trying
of
to become. So this is a bunch of fanboys trying to emulate the people that they respect.
kinda. I mean,
Because that's what you said about female Luke. That's what you're saying about Mini Darth.
it's most true for those two. Like Poe.
Well, those are the main characters, so.
Huh?
Those are the main characters.
Right, yeah.
And Finn, but.
Yeah, like I love the idea of Finn, a stormtrooper choosing to leave, like, and admittedly, it's not as interesting in the other ones, in the next ones.
Oh. Well,
But like
it's
him,
not that interesting. Either.
like that's why I think it's so cool. Like when Kylo Ren, he's like, "You traitor!" He's like personally mad at Finn. Because Finn's like able to walk away from the darkness, but he's not able to, and I think he resents him for that.
Yeah.
I think, like the idea, like he.
Wait! You think Mini Darth wants to walk away from the darkness?
Yeah, that's his whole thing. It's like I know what I
think
need
he
to do,
does.
but I don't think I have the strength to do it. He says that.
Right, but what he does immediately after that was kill his dad and embrace the dark side. So.
Yeah, but
If he wanted to escape, that was his escape. Right there, standing in front of him. He could have just gone with his dad.
yeah, I think he
But he
wanted.
doesn't.
Kylo Ren. I don't think he wanted to kill his dad. I don't think he. I don't. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's why that scene is so good.
I thought that's... Okay. Carry on. I thought that scene was totally absurd.
I
Han
strongly disagree.
Solo.
Uh-huh.
The guy that gets out of literally everything for
Yes.
decades in his life
Yes.
is going to walk up to the baddest guy in the thing. Great, it's his kid, unarmed,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes,
and
that's why
expect
it's
to walk
good.
away.
Oh my-
No, that is
No,
completely
okay.
counter Han
No,
Solo's
it's
character.
not. It's not.
Yes, it is.
Han Solo has the heart of gold. That's what defines him as a character. He wants to be like the rogue on the outside, but he knows he needs to help people. We've seen, like, his own Solo movie
Sure,
proves that.
that's
and then,
true.
literally, like in A New Hope, when Obi-Wan and Luke walk away from the table, it's like, oh, like he like drops his persona. It's like, ah, man, this is gonna really save me type of thing. But he was trying to be like the tough guy.
So when he goes to help, how does he do it?
His son?
No, just in all of the real Star Wars movies.
It's okay. What's so funny?
Pause.
What's always so funny is you don't know the sequels. This is just how you are, which is so funny. You haven't read any arguments. You don't know anything.
So am I mirroring all of the arguments?
Annoying fanboys? Yeah, you are.
Annoying fanboys. Anyhow, okay.
How does he help? So
it's always violent. He's always attacking somebody, or tricking or manipulating
it's like
someone.
His survival skill.
Literally every single time.
Uh-huh.
And then this scene.
Yes.
This does not fit anywhere in Han Solo's character.
This is... No, oh my gosh. All right, so... Okay, but wait, put a pin in this, because I have to do a little... There's all those books that they wrote after the original trilogy. Yeah. This movie erased, like, all of that from canon. Because in the books... Han and Leia had twins, and then a son they named Anakin Solo. Mm-hmm. In the books, Luke married Mara Jade, had a son named Ben Skywalker.
Oh, so this is Luke's son?
No, all of that got erased.
Okay.
And like they went on adventures with their Wookiee Jedi friend. Mm. It's a big thing for a lot of fans was, what about all these books I grew up with? This means they don't exist. And the movie's like, yeah, doesn't exist. But that's a big deal for a lot of fans.
I imagine.
And that's why I think Ben is named Ben. I mean, after Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it's called Legend. In the Legend canon, like Luke's son was named Ben. So they're just like trying to. Anyway, put in this.
Stick their tongue out at the.
Okay. So, sorry, the Han Solo thing. We have so much. All right, you rewatched that scene.
Even on my list.
He sees Ben on the bridge, and he just stares. He knows what he has to do. He knows what will happen. He knows his son is going to kill him.
Okay.
And he yells out his name, Ben, and like it echoes, and it's really cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's just think about this.
Okay.
Even if we dismiss everything we know about Han Solo.
Sure.
Except for
we don't need to.
Well, we definitely have to, because it doesn't fit in this scene. We have a father trying to reclaim his son. Mm-hmm. If what you say is true, and he knows he's going to die, mm-hmm. a father that wanted to reclaim his son would never walk across that bridge. Because if he knew his son was going to kill him, that's the transition to the dark side. He doesn't want his son to transition to the dark side, so he would never walk across that bridge. That's my argument.
But part of this is also the fact that Chewie is there planting bombs, and they have to detonate the bombs. Like, part of it's like, if we do anything else, Kylo will kill, like will mess up, like get in the way of the mission. But I disagree, because like earlier in the movie with Conja Club and the Death Gang, you see
those are the stupidest scenes on the planet. We'll talk about those.
It's like, yeah, we were seeing Han Solo get out of things. Have I ever not lived up to my thing? Yes, twice. And he looks. When was the second time? That's good stuff.
That is good stuff.
Anyway, but this is different. You're right! But, like, he loves his son. Even though his son has turned away from him, turned away from the light side, like, gone on to be little Darth Vader, basically. And I don't think he wants to die. Part of him might think he might not have died. And, like, that's... The thing is, that scene could have caused an uproar with everyone. Like with the fans. But it didn't, because this movie earns this death, I think. I know you don't disagree, but you're like a robot person.
I'm not a robot person.
Anyway, so...
It doesn't fit in what a father trying to rescue a son would do. It doesn't fit in Han Solo's character at all.
I disagree.
Well, then present the argument.
I think
all you've said is, yes, it's so...
A father will do anything for their child.
But you said he knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
And if he knew that, he never would have gone out there.
I disagree, I guess.
Okay.
Because he
He
goes...
wants to rescue him from the dark side.
Yeah. Take off your
Going
mask.
out there and allowing his son to kill him is not going to accomplish that. It will do the opposite.
Well,
He
maybe.
knows that because he's seen it already. His friends have done it. He knows what happens when you kill, people. You convert. You become a part of the dark side.
But,
That's his
the
final transition.
line that made you roll your eyes, don't you think he sees good in his son? See, I told you. Anyway, so...
So rehash.
He's like, take off your mask. You don't need it. What do you think you'll see when I do? The face of my son. So he takes it off. And, he literally says, I know what I need to do, but I don't think I have the strength to do it. He knows he needs to go with his dad.
His father.
He knows he needs to...
Kill his father.
No, to go to the light side. Because that's his...
He doesn't want to go to the light side.
Whoops.
He's had this whole conversation with Darth Vader's head. He doesn't want to go to the light side. He wants to shut the light side up in his head. He wants to become Darth Vader, like you already said.
I know, but I disagree. That's what he is right now. But remember, he feels the seduction of the light side. He's like, he's talking to his grandfather's head. I feel the pull of the light side again.
Help me to put that away forever. Bam, here comes Han Solo. That's what he needs to do to put it away forever. Shank. The end.
That's what he thinks. Okay. The mask is literally repressing all goodness in him. Literally, we don't see his face until he takes it off for Rey.
Right.
And then, to his surprise... she's able to resist,
yes,
and and that scares him. She reads him like a book without the mask on. You're scared you'll never be Darth Vader. That's true. And so he takes the mask off again, and the same thing happens with his dad. But he knows his dad. Obviously, it's his dad. And I guess we're not gonna agree on this because I think Halloran. He made a mistake. He's Macbeth here. Macbeth, as soon as he sees the Banquo's ghost, he's like, I am stepped in so much, it would be harder for me to go back. So I might as well keep on going.
So
that's my translation, not the Shakespeare words.
Right.
So he's like, I'm too far. There's no going back at this point.
So then he kills his dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then he wanted that all along. He's in. He's immersed. This is the final step.
But then what does Han do with the lightsaber sticking through his body? He touches his face. Han touches Ben's face, and it's still love you. Literally, he wanted just to say that message, no
Still
matter what, I still love you.
Right, that's a father.
Yeah, and that's what he was doing. He was being a father at this moment. He was doing the little thing he knew to try to help his son, to make sure his friends didn't just die needlessly, right behind him, basically.
Right. So then he can't have known he was going to kill him. You can't have both of those things.
I think he did know.
Okay, let's move on. What else do we got? Okay, I just want to point out just how rehashy this is before we go. So.
Also, wait, pause. Your friend, the Wyoming dealership guy, he left a pretty lengthy response I can read too.
I feel like you're afeared of what's coming.
Afeared?
You keep putting up smoke screens.
No, this is anti the movie, by the way.
I have no doubt because my friend is a critical thinker. Okay, so we've got the orphan on the desert planet, dealing with scraps, whatever. We have a cantina scene. We have, we even have what did you call it, where they fly through the trench in A New Hope? That trench.
The Death Star run?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That? Yeah.
Okay, we have that even in this movie, even though it literally makes no sense whatsoever in the context of what they're doing. We have this trench run, or whatever you call it. We even have the same 10-minute countdown that they had in Return of the Jedi when they're trying to move into place to vaporize the planet. Same 10-minute countdown. Same 1 friggin' weakness in this thing. You would think that the Empire would figure out building big crap with one weakness is going to get it blown up, but they don't. They're idiots. We still have the Empire. We just renamed it the First Order. It's literally nothing has changed in the Empire. We still have the Emperor. We just now, he looks stupider, and he's now called the Supreme Leader. Like, literally the entire thing.
Yeah.
Everything, start to finish, is just rehash. It's just a copy of the original. With the exception of the completely absurd gangs showing up on the Millennium Falcon. Though. It's totally absurd. Everything that happens in that thing is absurd.
I never made a deal with Kanja Club. Like, tell that to Kanja Club.
The banter is great. I give you, but everything that happens, that is just not.
Kanja Club are the cast of a movie called The Raid.
Okay.
Which, if you know, you know, and it's pretty cool, but they don't do anything in this movie, which is...
right, except get ate by...
Yeah.
Whatever that thing is.
I forgot.
We even have the exact same escape from the exploding planet from A New Hope. The exact same. It's just like the flames and the whole thing, and here comes this little ship out. Just, okay, that's it. I'm done with the rehash thing because it's obvious that this is just very lazy and rehashy.
Oh, wait.
If you want.
Yeah, I agree with some of those things.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the ending, it's not like it's not the best.
No.
You're right, Snoke doesn't look as interesting as he could.
What is Snoke?
Snoke's the Supreme Leader. Did you think he was super big at first, though?
Yes.
That was cool. It's like, it's a hologram. I was like, what? Like a 100-foot guy? I've never seen this. And then it's a hologram, which is not as cool, but it's cool for the ending.
I will give the ending... I felt that. I could feel that. When female Luke meets Luke... I could feel the weight of that. That was well done. Yeah. There's actually a number of really well done scenes. In the movie, like
it's just lipstick on a pig. You know what I mean?
No, but a couple of scenes that I really liked. Actually, I think the best scene as far as acting is that scene that you just mentioned, where female Luke and mini Darth face off.
Yeah. Because
there's a lot of power there, but there's no visible power.
Yeah.
But their body acting and especially their facial expressions, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was very well done.
Her audition tape was that scene, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
And she's a nobody. This is her first movie, basically.
Oh, wow.
Like, they saw thousands of women,
I'm sure.
basically. Yeah. And I think she does a great job.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
I will talk a little bit why people don't like her and why I disagree.
Okay.
But Kylo Ren, that's Adam Driver. He's been in things. His biggest thing, he was in a TV show on HBO that I've never seen. And basically, if you didn't know that show, he's kind of a nobody too. So when he took off his mask, that was the first time I've ever seen him in my life. So now Adam Driver, he's a genuine actor, by the way. He's worked with Scorsese, Steven Spielberg. He's worked with did you see The Black Klansman? Oh.
Yes.
He was the guy. He's in that movie. He's worked with the Coen brothers. Adam Driver is one of our greats right now.
Oh.
And this was not his breakthrough because he has an incredible filmography.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him.
Finn, his main thing, there's a movie called Attack the Block. You've seen that?
Yes.
That's him. He has a thick British accent in real life.
Yeah.
And it's basically, I just learned this, Tom Cruise saw Attack the Block, is friends with JJ. It's like, you got to get this guy in something. And helped him get that role.
Cool.
And then, of course, Poe, he's also in a lot of stuff. But he was in a lot of stuff before this movie. He's maybe the most established out of the four, basically. Oscar Isaac is Poe Dameron. But he was in Ex Machina. He's one of those three guys. He has a beard and the shaved head, so he looks way different. Inside Llewyn Davis.
Never seen that. Ex Machina is fantastic, though.
This is afterwards, but he's a good guy. He's in Dune, Annihilation.
That was a good one too.
You know, oh, he's in Drive. He was the husband in Drive.
I didn't like Drive.
All right, he's anyway.
It's
the point
a poor
is,
man's Baby Driver.
yeah. Let me read past guest Martin Harris. This is what he says. I'll just read it as it is. Storytelling at its worst. 138 minutes of bland, contrived, soulless corporate fun service trading on nostalgia bait and deconstruction of the Star Wars universe as J.J. Abrams asks a question the adults in the room should have refused to answer. Wouldn't it be cool if we broke all the rules from prior movies? This isn't rock bottom for Disney Lucasfilm, even though fans of the original trilogy might wish it wouldn't get worse than this. The franchise started its decline with the prequels, to be sure, but this trilogy turns it up to 11, rips the knob off, and charges headlong toward an event horizon which there's no escape. While watching this movie, keep that in mind, dear viewers. That's funny. Deconstructing a magical universe for shock value will make hardcore fans squee and clap at the unexpected plot twists, but there is a long-term price to be paid. Watching these movies for the first time, you're peering into the past and watching the lug nuts come loose. The wheels come off next, rolls over, and lights on fire, which is pretty fun.
That's my boy.
That's pretty fun. Yeah,
we haven't gotten to the fire lighting. This is just the lug nuts.
Yeah, but I wonder what you will think about it.
We will certainly find out.
You're not like most Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I like logic. I like things to make sense.
All right, I like
creativity.
You're right. I walked into that one. The corporate side, yeah, that's something we have to live with. Did this movie have to make as much money as possible? Yeah, that's part of like why it's so familiar. But
one might say a rehash,
a remix. We could also say, but like it had to make money in America and China and everywhere. Like,
sure,
Disney was thinking
it's all
about
money.
Stuff. You know, to some degree, it is. Which is kind
not to some degree. I think.
Yeah, but like
at this point with Star Wars.
No, but not just Star Wars. Like all film, it's like it's a business transaction. As much as we don't like to think of it as.
That's fair.
Okay, so let me address some of the things you said. Unless you want, what did you want to say? Okay, you said, "Oh, it's just the Empire again."
It is.
Yeah, but it's 30 years after the Empire, and like evil doesn't go away necessarily. Evil will always reemerge.
Changes form though. If one way of being evil doesn't work,
and
rehash the same way of being evil. They even made another Death Star 3.
Yeah, that I don't love.
Sorry,
that,
I'll be quiet.
No, I mean you're right. I don't love that it's the third Death Star. That does not help this movie at all.
No,
it's the last 20 minutes.
But it's a whole planet now. That makes it. It's totally different.
Yeah,
no,
we saw the diagram.
Oh, looks exactly like that. Anyhow,
but like, let's say Star Wars is Nazi Germany in World War II.
Okay.
And now it's modern day. For some reason, in real life, there are a lot of people who are emulating Nazis, unironically.
Yeah.
You know, like neo-Nazis. There are people who are going on marches with swastikas right now.
True.
So I guess the resistance, I don't think it's as explained or understood necessarily super well in this movie or even any of the rest, but like it's not Empire level. Yeah. The First Order is just the people who didn't let it die. I think the original idea is what if all the Nazis that ran to Argentina regrouped basically?
But there's no scale to suggest that.
I know. It
feels exactly like
I know
Empire.
that you're not wrong. I think that's why only like the nerds will even look into these things. But like the Resistance, what do you mean the Resistance? They fought the last war, so it's a new republic. That's what it is. We got rid of the empire to replace the Senate. Why is there resistance, and why are they?
Yeah.
What's not communicated well is Princess Leia, now General Leia, it's like, I need an army just for the First Order. It's like, hey, there are these First Order guys appearing more and more. These First Order people are getting bigger and bigger. Should we do something about that? Nah, we're the New Republic.
I didn't get
It's
any
It's
of
not.
that.
It's not in the movie.
I got the exact opposite
This
of that.
this is background that's not in the films, which is unfortunate.
Wow. That's a massive
I
logical
know.
problem with this movie then. Because it literally felt exactly like...
You are not wrong, but that's
Okay.
that's the idea. It's like, oh,
That would have been a much more interesting movie.
yeah, in like hindsight, it's like those Senate scenes we hated from the prequels. Could I use a couple of those in here? You know what I mean?
Right, because
That's-
it felt like when they blew up whatever planets those were, that they were just kind of taking out the last of the garbage.
Yeah.
Rather than
It's
this
basic-
is a rebel group striking against the more powerful
Yeah.
Senate.
But like
And,
how it is, and once again, you're right. This is not communicated. The First Order, those guys, we should do something. We should do something. They're getting more and more serious. All right, Leia, take a resistance army just for this sole purpose, basically. That's all. That's what it is.
Okay.
But that's not in the movie.
No, they felt very small.
Yeah, I remember in theaters in 2015 being frustrated at like, where do these bad guys come from? We just killed these
Right.
guys. So you're right. It's not
Okay.
ideal, but
Thank
that's
you.
what the story is. And then like,
Appreciate
oh
that.
crap, these guys just killed 5 planets of,
Right.
and everyone thought it's not Coruscant. It's just something else. But
Just some,
the Hazian system.
I don't, yeah.
They say its name. Anyway, you're
It was the Senate.
yeah.
So,
So it's like, oh crap, not only are these guys serious, now we are in trouble because we just lost 5 planets worth of people and resources, whatever.
okay.
So that is, I mean, this movie's not perfect.
Not even close.
I just love it. That's what I'm really trying to
Not
say.
even close.
All right. Okay. So the point was, where these guys come from? Well, it's been enough time. New bad guys emerge. Like hate
Following
doesn't.
the exact same plan.
Yeah, but
Okay, so you think like so the neo-Nazis, in order for your analogy to work, their goal has to be, in order to draw the perfect parallel, to go back to Germany, foment the revolution, invade Poland, and just follow the exact same pattern. Burn, like, Holocaust, the whole bit. So it doesn't, that analogy does not work as a comparison, because this is the same empire. There's no difference. There's an emperor figure, there's a Darth Vader figure, there's a Death Star, there's stormtroopers. They're still trying to crush the resistance.
Yeah.
They're brutal. There's no.
All right.
No.
That's fair.
I know.
Dr. Tease, I
Thank
said
you.
that's fair.
Okay, I'll shut up. I'm trying to be good. I told you when I was texting Ryan in anticipation of this, I said that we're going back to our very first episode. That's how I'm
right,
feeling.
Because
So our very first episode with Iron Man, it was just me blistering Iron Man and Ryan defending it. I knew that that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So
And that's fair.
apparently I'm rehashing OG OG Desert
Dude,
of the Real here. So
we only
I
knew
guess-
arguments here.
I guess I can't cast the stone because I live in a glass house.
Okay. So, can I go through the movie really quick? I think the first 30 minutes of this movie is pure gold. Like
I don't remember what.
the best of the best, basically. Everything's moving so fast. We learn so much every single Star Wars movie starts with a spaceship in space. Like,
Sure.
think of any of them. If this First Orders come down, and that's where we get BB-8. What'd you think of BB-8?
You mean R2D2 too?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought he was R2D2 too.
Okay, what about just... Okay, I love BB-8 so much. It's like...
Everybody does.
It's like a breath of fresh air. I mean, he's so cool. Like, he gives a little thumbs up with the lighter. You didn't like that? jeez. Maybe you just...
I just hate everything, I
I
guess.
guess. Anyway.
I did not mind BB-8, other than he was very clearly R2-D2 too.
Yeah.
He has the same thing. He's got the message that everybody needs. He's got to deliver
he's
it.
a MacGuffin.
He broadcasts it just like R2-D2 did. Same thing.
Yeah, but it's not... This is... We need to destroy the Death Star. Everyone needs to destroy the Death Star.
Oh, that's
the Death
true.
Star is
So
the
it's
thing
totally
that needs to be destroyed.
different. You're right.
Where's Luke? In fact, the Death Star is more like a 30-minute, like, side quest, if anything.
That was the whole point of
No, it's to find
A New
Luke.
Hope.
Yeah. See, it's different that way. Anyway. Anyway, as a fan, Kylo stopping the blaster midair.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
That was the very first thing I wrote.
Yeah.
The floating frozen laser blast.
That's cool.
That was awesome.
But, like, Kylo kills that old guy, and who's, like, a acting
That's
legend.
freaking
Yeah.
Max von
Right.
Sydow. How
Yeah.
can they just kill him?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
It was originally written for Wedge Antilles, which is one of the rebels from the original. And
I couldn't believe that. I was expecting him to be the new Obi-Wan guy.
Yeah.
Like, because he's awesome. He's a great actor.
But, like, the second he asks Kylo about himself, it's like, nope, I'm killing you now, basically.
Yeah.
But, yeah, stopping the blaster bolt, and then literally Poe going, who talks first? You talk first? Do I talk first? Man.
That was funny, I admit.
It's just hard to hear you with all the mask going on. It's a lot going on. Kylo starts talking, and Poe's just being a little smart aleck.
Oh, right, yeah. That was good.
Yeah, we understand him immediately. And when the stormtrooper dies and touches the mask, those fingerprints, that's great storytelling.
Great. Yep.
But we don't know Finn at all. But we know this one doesn't want to shoot these guys.
Right.
That's
a visible marking, visible
great
separation.
storytelling.
I agree.
And then you see Rey. Rey doesn't even talk for like 4 or 5 minutes. You see her.
She's flying around the.
She climbs. She's a
derelict.
scavenger. She does her cute little slide with the sled.
Yeah.
She has a full-on like monologue, just looking at the old woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
She's as a pod racer.
Is this my life? Is this my future? She lives in an old AT-AT that is just in the ground, but she puts on a helmet. Tells us so much about her.
I agree.
And then, of course, we have the classic, let me save BB-8. This is like save the cat stuff. How do we indicate this is a good person, a hero?
You saved the cat.
Have them save a cat. That's like a trope script writing thing.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
And like up until like how Finn rescuing Poe, like it's the right thing to do. You need a pilot. I need a pilot.
Yeah.
Like, be calm, be calm, be calm. I am calm. I'm talking to myself. Like, I love all of this.
Okay.
They crash in Jakku. Poe was supposed to die. He convinces JJ, bring me back, and he does. We barely know Finn. He gets a name. He's just been a number. He's been kidnapped as a baby.
Right.
And been conditioned to be a trooper. You know, he just saw all these troopers kill villagers.
He did.
And I think it makes sense that he will step in to try to save the first person he sees in trouble. He's like, I'm putting away that, and it happens to be Rey.
Yeah.
Who happens to have BB-8. I don't hate all these coincidences, you know. I
mean, movies have to be built on them.
Right. And then
to a certain extent.
Once again, I think it's a lot of fun. We'll take the quad jumper. What about that ship? That ship's garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage will do. Turn Millennium Falcon. No one sees it coming. I mean, no one knew it was going to come.
Right.
You could have guessed it, I guess, but what a fun reveal, you know? Oh,
that was good.
By the way, the guy
I don't know.
who's like 1/4 portion, that alien dude.
Yeah.
You know who's in the costume? That's Simon Pegg.
Nuh-uh.
That is.
That's my boy.
There's a deleted scene, which is probably good they took it out. He pops up at the cantina out of nowhere.
As Simon Pegg?
No, as the alien. Like, you stole my ship. And then Chewbacca rips his arm off. But it's probably good they did it, because that is literally the cantina scene. Anyway, so all of this, the whole fight in the sky, this is all good stuff.
you're right about the opening, I don't know, 10 minutes of this is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know why they then decided, okay, now let's just start rehashing crap that happened in the originals, because they had a good, like, it was a good launch.
Did you have any idea Han Solo and Chewbacca were about to walk through that door?
No.
Because I think it's the second teaser that say, hey, there's Han, there's Chewie. And that was like the big... Like, you can watch grown men cry on YouTube. When you type in The Force Awakens trailer reaction, Han comes in, Chewie, we're home. And, like, people just like, yelling and stuff.
Cool.
Anyway, fast forward through the gang stuff and the monster stuff, blah, blah, blah. I think there's a lot of stuff. Did you just call me Solo?
Yeah, so I texted you this, like, from when he first walks on until, I don't know, sometime later, he's very wooden.
No,
you rewatch the whole gang interaction. He's playing himself playing Han Solo. And then at some point he becomes, like, he becomes Han Solo, and he's no longer Harrison Ford playing Han Solo, but...
Yeah, I wonder, here's something that did happen. When they were making this movie, the door of the Falcon landed on his ankle or something, and he had to, like, go get healed up for a while. Oh. And then JJ went back, and the writer went back and reworked things. And they say they fixed it where, like Finn and Rey reworked it so that they work... all their scenes work better. So maybe that has something literally to do with it, like him having to
pain or something.
having to step out for a few weeks. Let's rework the script. But I think Harrison Ford is alive and energetic. He's having a ball.
I agree afterward.
But also, I think this is the thing compared to the prequels. I think now there's like genuine acting in these movies. Like the prequels, it's hard to maybe say there's great acting going on. But like it's like I would say like the Kylo Ren scene in Harrison Ford, like Kylo, like with his eyes.
I agree. Yeah.
Like I say, trying to plead to his dad, like I don't know how to get out of this. Try to help me. I guess I have to kill you. I guess anyway. Like that's genuine acting, and I think Harrison Ford's also doing it too. Like when they're landing in Maz's castle, and like I didn't know there was this much green in the universe. The look he gives her is like. He feels for her, you know, like, oh, this girl, like, needs... she deserves something better
Harrison
here.
Ford is one of the great...
He's like, I'm thinking of maybe bringing on some help. You know, like, he wants to hire her, but doesn't know... Because he's like the mentor figure in this. He's like the Obi-Wan in this movie. Yeah,
I picked up on that.
Anyway, I think he's...
who dies exactly like Obi-Wan died, but that's okay.
Yeah. I didn't hear what you said. But
I said he dies exactly like Obi-Wan died in A New Hope.
Some similarities there.
Oh, jeez. Okay, it's my turn now.
We are ending part 1 right here because we talked for a long time and Dietz didn't realize it.
There was so much negative to say that we just... ran on and on.
We obviously talked a long time, so this is where part 1 is ending.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in part 2.
Bye.